Hey guys, how are you today? Coming to you with a new West Virginia Wednesday. My daughter suggested I go back to doing stuff for West Virginia, and while I will, starting next week, I'm probably going to do a little something on Thurman, because me and Timmy went to watch it. I thought this time, as with most things that I've told you before, somebody pecked me on the shoulder and I want to talk about the weather. Anybody got any weather out there they want to talk about? Well, this is the thing. It's everywhere. It's from coast to coast. Let's see. Yep, I'm in there. Let me silence me before I get started talking. Okay. Bring this up. Hey, Mandy, Julie, Christy, Brian. Good job, guys. Y'all are in here on time. Hey, Stanley. I just wanted to say this week has been, hey, Tim, has been an awful week for the United States of America. We started out with winter storm warnings all over the eastern two-thirds of the United States. Then they had tornado warnings down south in Texas and places like that. And now they got wildfires out in California. One, I would suggest everybody read Revelations. That's all I'm going to say on it. Perfect book, perfect time. But we're going to get on to something else. There's no sense in everybody blaming their mayor, their governor, even the president. The United States is built on people helping people. It has been that way ever since it was incepted, and it still be that way. Every time there's a disaster somewhere, you got people. Hey, Jansu. Hey, Greg. You got people. Arnie, thanks for coming in, guys. You got people that if there's an emergency comes up, it's just like back in the day when somebody had something going on in their community or their little tiny thing. If something happened, and like back in the old days when the house was on fire, you seen them water brigades out there, everybody out in the middle of the night throwing water on people's houses or stores or whatever, put the fire out. It's no different now. Look what happened with the remnants of Hurricane Helene that went through North Carolina and Tennessee, places like, really think about it. When people are in need, the United States of America people come through. Now, sometimes the government gets in the way of us being able to get through because they think they know what is the best for everybody. But inevitably, the people helping the people will get to the point that they are. However, there are some personal responsibility things that we should be doing on our own. Yeah, Chris just mentioned she had the snow falling in her area first on Sunday. I think you said something about getting like 8 inches or something of snow. We've got probably a total of 5 out there now. Maybe more. Sean said it was snowing really heavy out there, heavier than it's been snowing all day. So it just keeps coming in spurts. It'll snow heavy. Then all day long it was a snow, but it was like a heavy flurries. They were coming down all the time, but they were so light they were blowing around all over the place, and you really didn't assume they were going to accumulate anything. Till you looked outside and Sam's prints are covered up again. So, irregardless of whether it's a heavy pouring down snow or just a little feathery snow, you're going to get accumulations. And Sam loves to get out there and play in the snow. Surveil, you can tell where he's been. Sean's been going out feeding my chickens for me the last couple of days, so I am tickled with that. Thank you so much, grandson. 48 degrees in Florida. I'm not coming down there, Jet Sue. I can get that temperatures up here. Yeah. Has it turned into ice, Christy, in Kentucky? I haven't been out there, so I really don't know. When I went out and fed the chickens on Monday, underneath the snow had puddles of water. So I knew by the time the next morning come along, it was going to be nothing but solid ice. So in lieu of, we could not find our snow shovel, Sean's been feeding the chickens for me. So I haven't even had to go out of the house, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because when you're in your house all the time, you're breathing in the same air over and over again, and you get lazy. Of course, I'm lazy anyway, but that's beside the point, people. And you want to sleep all the time, which is, don't exert all your energy. I have been able to keep up with my walking goal. Saturday night, I think I got over 10,000 steps, go me. In the last 3 days, I've got over 5,000 steps. So I'm keeping up with my 20-25 steps per day goal, 20-25 plus. So I'm doing good, guys. It may not pull anything off, but it's encouraging me to get up off that couch, especially with all this snow going, and do something else, and something else, and something else. I don't spend the majority. Me and Sean here, he lives in his room. I live in the living room, kitchen, and bedroom. It doesn't take nothing. I don't do anything. I'm not tearing anything up unless I'm working on a project, so it don't take nothing to do. I'm just not motivated. Now, in the summertime when I can get out and do all kinds of stuff, do I go out there and do nothing? No, I do not. But hopefully this year will be different. I'm hoping to do most of my crafting from the she shed, even if I have to get out there at 6 o'clock in the morning, do my crafting before it gets hot, and then come back out here under the fan and the air conditioner. All right, so we're going to start with the winter storm warnings. It's been broadcasting all over. We've got a new one coming in. I think Chrissy said hers is in Friday. Ours is coming in as well. I'm hoping that Timmy can make it home tomorrow night without having too much difficulty. Or he may have to, I don't know, he may have to go and stay with Stephen if he can't get home. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm sure he will make sure he makes it home, but, the first thing I wanted to let you know is to start, we couldn't do this, but from here on out, if you've got your power and stuff, now's the time to go do it. Let me read what Chrissy said. You got 12 inches of snow, Mandy? Woo! Yeah, most of it's ice. I remember when we was in North Carolina that year, and on Jenny's birthday, it started snowing down there. And for a week, a solid week, they did not have any school. The roads would clear off through the daytime, so if you had to get out, you could do it. They'd ice back over in the nighttime, so everybody was skating around on icy roads. So it just depends on where you live at as to what degree of the winter that you have to deal with. Even down in the warmer states, they can have it freeze into ice, melt the next day because it gets really a lot warmer than what it is, and then freeze at night all over again. Just be careful out there, guys. Start with charging your cell phone, a tablet, anything else that you need. Make sure it stays charged. That is something that I'm telling myself, because I am awful about letting my cell phone go dead. Even this new one. The good thing is, where I've been doing so many videos and downloading them, my computer is keeping it pretty much charged up for me. But that is one of my new goals for 2025, is to make sure that my cell phone and the new watch that comes with it stays charged up so that I can keep in contact with the people that's trying to get a hold of me. Now, if you're living up here where we're at and it's super cold and you do not know if your water's going to freeze overnight, just rinse out a couple of milk jugs real good, fill them up full of water and set them off to the side, so at least if you still got power, you got water to get you a nice warm cup of coffee. And that will warm you up from the inside out. So just, try to be proactive instead of reactive, and try to make that a goal for you in 2025 to be proactive in doing stuff instead of reactive, because a reaction to a problem is good, but if you can proactively see what might come and have the things in place to react with, you're a whole lot better off. Find a different way to heat your house. If you only heat by electricity, then you need to find you a propane heater, or, and it depends on how big of an area you're wanting to heat, put you a couple of candles in it. It's not going to make it super warm, but it will put off enough heat that you can stave off a little bit of the cold unless your power goes out. Now, if your power goes out, you're going to have to find you an alternative place to stay or a lot of blankets. The other thing is keep your blankets. Make sure that they're where you can get to them. If the power goes out, you don't want to be searching your whole house for your heaviest blanket to keep you warm with. I remember when we got that 38 inch of snow and we were down at the I had to work. They had me to come into work, and we was down there, and I worked from 3 to 11, and then the 11 person couldn't come in, so I worked from 11 to 7 in the next morning. And all they had was these big velour blankets. Although they're soft and stiff, don't buy them. Because if you are cold and you don't have any heat source and you want to get warm by those things, it's not going to happen. You can wrap yourself up in that thing and it still is not going to snuggle up against your skin and keep your heat in it. How about freeze? Because they didn't have any alternative heat source. At that time, they wouldn't let you burn the fireplace. So when they come 7 o'clock the next morning, they told me I could go out and stay in one of the rooms. I said, no, I'm not. My husband's coming after me. I'm going home. We got a wood burner. And he did. He come after me. And I got to go home. I still had to go back in at 3 o'clock that evening, but I got to come home in a nice warm house and get me some sleep. The next thing is, if you've forgotten to get your water, or say you had your water and now you've run out and you've got snow outside, first and foremost, don't get yellow snow. Everybody knows what that means. Don't get yellow snow. But also remember, if you're wanting to make a 6-ounce cup of coffee, you have to melt 60 ounces of snow to make your water for that cup of coffee. It takes 10 times as much snow to make 1 time water. So, ain't no wonder we can have 10, 12, 14 inches of snow. If we had 10, 12, 14 inches of water, everybody'd be flooded out. Make sure your candles are closed and the lighter or matches are with them or in a place you can find them easy. Now, I think I showed it on one of my videos, maybe one of my camping videos. Get you a small mason jar, one of those 8-ounce jars is fine, or one of the half-pint, whatever they are, just the little ones, jelly jars. Put you some kitchen matches in it. Take the little striker and glue it up underneath the lid. Tighten it down. That keeps it waterproof, and you will have a good source for lighting your candles. I still have that heavy red blanket, Christy. It's up in the closet in the spare room. And yes, ma'am, if it come to where the power was out and it's cold like it is now, that bad boy would come down out of that closet and it'd be on my bed and I'd be sitting in there up underneath that blanket, probably reading my Bible, saying, good Lord, I can make it through this with you. I can do it. I can do it. But, hello everybody. Thank y'all for stopping in. We're just talking about the weather. That's craziness, I know, but it is what we've got today. Stay indoors as much as you can. I know people, they make me come to work at time. I've told that story before. Me and Timmy had to go down, break the snow to go up the road to beside the creek where the pump house was, up over the hill to where the skating rink is, climb up all those steps to the top of them, where my son-in-law at the time picked me up, took me down to the park in a one lane path through that you couldn't even, you couldn't have, if there's two cars coming, you couldn't pass. There's no way. But because it was so nasty, everybody was off the road. He got me down to the end of where the road is to go to Hawks Nest. He had to turn around and come back up that one lane road, and I walked into the park. Now, if you want to talk about stories of people making you go to work, I can tell you some stories. I've had to do some good stuff down at that park. But I'm still here. It did not get me, and I'm stronger for it. But stay indoors if you can. It's just better for you, especially with the ice on the road, because you don't want to be the person that slides off the road into the ditch or gets hit by somebody and you're sitting there in a car that may or may not be able to be run for even a half an hour to 45 minutes while somebody comes to help you, because it's going to get cold quick. If you're still runnable and you got that motor running in your car, make sure you clean off any snow around the exhaust of it so that it won't get no carbon monoxide inside the car with you, because that's never going to be good. And have a winter kit in your car. If you have to go out, I don't care if you're going, like if I was going from here up to Dollar General, everybody knows that's less than 5 minutes away from my house, but still yet, put your winter kit in the car, preferably in November. Have a blanket, some candles, some extra food, some water. Make sure you put your food in a container that a mouse cannot chew through and get into. One of those metal cans that you get popcorn in at Christmas time would be perfect. Just smash it down and have you some treats and some water and all that good stuff. You could take that can and paint it up to be whatever and say car survival kit. You could use it in the summertime. You don't know when you're going to be out and need the water and snacks, so just always a good thing to have that particular thing in your car. If you go out and it's unnecessary to be out there, you're putting first responders in peril, shall we say, to be able to come and get you and take care of you. So if you can avoid it, now that's if you can. Don't be out joyriding on these roads, because this is not the time of the year to be joyriding. Extra things to put in your car, extra blankets. If you don't want to take a blanket, take you an extra coat, an extra hat, a pair of gloves, a pair of socks. Because if you get out trying to get yourself out of this ditch that you're into, and you get your clothes soaking wet, that's not going to be good for you either in the wintertime. So always have you an extra outfit in a duffel bag sitting in the back of your car that you can go in. You change your socks out of those old wet freezing socks before they freeze your toes. And then if you can think of anything else that I need to add to this list, I have this printed up as a PDF that if anybody wants a copy of it, they can just email me at Kincaid Special Creations and I'll send it to you just to have on hand. It's really super easy. Stuff that I've thought about over the years, stuff that I've done craft stuff with over the years. So if you look back through all of our camping and car snow survival kits and everything, you'll be able to find all that stuff that we did. But definitely make sure that you keep your food in some kind of an airtight container, because even in the summertime, if say you leave a bag of potato chips, even if it don't have but 2 potato chips left in the bottom of that, that's just saying, okay, mouse, come on, you've got a new home. And then you're driving down the road, and that little creature will want to crawl up your britches leg, and you can not be good. So then the good thing about the snow and this cold weather is if your power, heaven forbid your power does go out, you don't have to worry about hooking that refrigerator or your freezer up to your generator, because it's so cold that food ain't going to go bad. And if you have something else that you really worry about, stick it out in the snow in the yard. Again, make sure you watch it so the animals don't take off with it. But let's see. Yeah, I like that heavy red blanket. Yeah. It's up in the very top closet of that small bedroom. I think Stephen got that overseas and brought it to Mom. I think he brought her 2 of them, and she kept one and I got one. And when we didn't have the electric heat, when we just had the cold heat, that thing was the best blanket, especially in the room that was the farthest away from the heater. You put that bad boy on, it would keep you warm. It was heavy enough. Like those quilts, I'm sure Janet Sue remembers, the ones that Lily used to make that was so heavy that if you turned over, you had to pick it up so your body would turn over and then lay it back down. But I loved those quilts. I absolutely loved those quilts. We had one forever until it finally disassembled itself. But yeah, I love it. Let me see if I can catch up on any. Uh-oh. Well, Janet, Kay, I don't know if you're still on there, but I can understand because mine's been going in and out forever too. If I don't answer a question that you all put on this at the time that I'm on the live, because it's hard to keep up with them, me here by myself, I will go back through and read them all before I'm done and put an answer on, a reply on, or whatever, so that you'll know that I did read it. Okay, now we're going to turn our thoughts and prayers to the wildfires in California. Just like the snowstorms that we have out here, we're currently going through with the cold weather, they are having the most awful time out there. The winds, called the Santa Ana winds, are doing from 50, somewhere upwards of 75 miles an hour, like a small hurricane coming, just feeding that fire like crazy. And it is in a upscale neighborhood, but they have feelings too. They have stuff that they would just as soon not lose. They have worked hard all their life to get the house that they are. So they would really prefer that thing didn't burn down. So everybody send their thoughts and prayers to everybody out there that is going through, and especially the first responders, the fire trucks. They said they run out of water in their fire hydrants, and I don't know what all's out there, but I think that this year, with the people standing up and saying what it is, the politicians that are running these things to the joy of their own life are going to pay the consequences the next time that the voters vote. So everybody, just keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and hope everything goes well, and hope that they get it all under control. They said they can't even get the helicopters up in there to dump water on it. They used to get the water out of all the swimming pools and dump water, but the winds are so strong that they can't even let the helicopters go up for fear of danger of the lives of the pilots of the helicopters. So it's terrible. So my thoughts and my prayers are going out to not only the people that are losing their houses, because it does. We had a house fire out here, or our shop caught on fire a couple years ago, you'll remember. And when those flames were coming out of the side of that, when I stepped out on the porch and looked at it, it's like those flames were trying to reach the house. I was terrified. So I can't imagine. There's one video going viral where he's standing in his living room and the flames are just out there just like, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you. So that's got to be scary. But it said him, the 2 humans, and the dog got out okay. So I guess that their dog was their most priority. But then we also had tornado warnings this week down in Texas and places like that. So, tornadoes scare me the worst, because although they normally will come when associated with a strong thunderstorm, but it may not have to be a strong thunderstorm right over top of you. It might get spun off from the end, or the end of the hurricane. and you're not even really 100% aware that that's coming until the tornado warning goes off. You don't have any time to do anything except get you and your family to safety. So, when that tornado warning went off, my phone worked. The tornado warning went off back in this spring, and I went out to the little house at Mandy's suggestion. Thank you again, Mandy. And I was standing out there. It's a cinder block building, so it's most secure that I knew of. Might have blew the roof off, but the winds were so strong and so scary. But I had a sense of peace out there. Like, I knew God had it. I was going to be fine at the end of it. But, yeah, when I went outside and I come out here and the windows had blew both ways and everything on the table had got knocked off, I said, if I would have been here at the house and seen that happen, I probably would have went into a full-blown panic attack. But thanks to Mandy, I was at the little house actually sorting material by colors into suitcases. I'll probably go out there and every bit of that material will have a mouse made a nest in it somewhere. I hope not. And then we don't want to forget our oceanfront people, the ones that live in Florida, Janet, Sue, and Brian and stuff. Yes, right now the cold weather is going to be the roughest because it will take out the oranges and all that kind of stuff that they're growing down there. But come June, when we're up here enjoying the pretty weather again, they get the start of their terror season in the hurricane season. Yes, they have a whole lot more advanced warning of tentatively where that's going to go to. So they can, but they have to, if it's coming right for them, they have to leave their house. They have to evacuate and go inland to where it's more safe for them personally and leave their house there at the whims and wishes of the weather, not knowing when they get back, are they going to have a house standing? Is it going to have the roof blow off? Are they going to have anything at all left in the house? So the weather is a scary, scary, scary event, no matter which way it is. I mean, you can have blisteringly hot days that cause you to have a sunstroke. So weather is something you really need to brush up on and be as proactive in taking care of yourself during weather events than to be just relying on being reactive after the event happens. So I just want to say, everybody stay safe out there. Stay as the people that have to evacuate from the fire have to go regardless. But if you're here in West Virginia or Kentucky and you don't have to be on the roads, don't get on the roads just yet. But if you have to be out there, be as safe as possible. Drive under the speed limit, because it's easier if you get into a ditch doing 50 miles an hour versus doing 65, 70 miles an hour. You're going to have less hurt at the 50 miles an hour. But if you're doing, say, 80 or 90 miles on that icy road and you hit a bridge and it sends you swirling, swirling, swirling around, you're not going to feel good, I would assume. But let's see. That is good. I'm close to my 20 minutes. I'm going to end it up. Again, stay safe and warm. Next week we'll be doing our Facebook Live. Not sure what we're doing yet. I'm not sure if it's close enough to do Halloween craft, not Halloween. I'm way far ahead of myself. Valentine crafts or not, I'll talk to Mandy and see what she says. See if she wants. I've seen a lady do some really cute ones, really, really cute ones that I want to try. So I'll ask her if she wants to do them this time, next Wednesday, or the Wednesday that we do Facebook Live in a couple weeks. Not sure. Next West Virginia Wednesday, I think I am going to do a little talk on Thurman. Like I said, me and Timmy went down there, and it's exciting. It's a really nice little trip down in there to see those old buildings and just to stand there and wonder, because back in the day, I mean, they weren't 15 foot, if that much, off of the railroad. I mean, if that train would have flipped off the track, their house would have been gone, or their building would have been gone, whatever. But to get to and from, you had to walk in front of those buildings, between the building and the tracks. So next week, we'll do a little bit more talk about Thurman. And before I leave this evening, I want to thank everybody that shows up and spends a little bit of time with me. I've been getting over 100 views on all these Facebook Lives, so I'm tickled, and I'm getting a lot of views when I switch it over to YouTube, so that is great. But I do want to let all of you know, one of our friends that we have here on Facebook Live, she passed away last week. She lost her battle with cancer, and it was Edwina. So say a little thought and a prayer for her family, because she was here almost all the time, and I really miss her. So everybody have a wonderful evening. Stay warm. Stay safe. And if you have to travel, do that as well as you can. And we will see you next Wednesday for Facebook Live. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye. As soon as this slow connection comes off, I'll hit the finish button.